Welcome back. The program is still the Afia Morning Show. And pleasure to have you join us once again. I'm Nathalie Uku. And good morning from the east side. Ojiwachuku is here. And unfortunately, this is not a pleasurable discussion, right? This has been making the wave on social media, and we're just going to get right to it. With a follow-up, the senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District at the National Assembly has vowed to pursue justice for 13-year-old rape victim, Ochanya Elizabeth Ogbanje, whose death led to national outcry and protests in 2018. She reportedly died of VVF complications after she was allegedly raped for years by her aunt's husband, Andrew Obuja. The victim was laid to rest on November 2nd in Benue State. Now, Andrew Obuja, a lecturer at Benue State Polytechnic, and his son, Victor, were said to have molested her since she was 8 years old. Initially, reports suggested that once her female cousin found out that her brother was raping this victim, she reported to her father, who went ahead to reprimand his son, Victor, and then took on the raping of Ochanya. Now, in this interview, we see what Ochanya said about the incident, of course, before she later passed on and was buried in November. Let's take a look at the interview.
5 years old. I went to my mother's sister's house to school because there was no school in my village. So when I went there, when I was 8, the son started sleeping with me. Then when the sister caught him, the sister then reported him to the father. Then the father scolded at him, and that was when the father started. So September, when I went to school, I was not feeling fine, so I came back home. I went to Federal Medical Center in Makurdi here. I spent 2 months and 5 days there, so they discharged us. When I now came home, then that was when I told my mother that when I was in my uncle's house, my uncle and his son, they were sleeping with me.
Now, Ochanya Ogbanje was said to have spent her final days shuttling between the hospital and church. And in this photo, you can see her graveside. And 7 years later, Nigerians are reopening the case, demanding justice and involvement of NAPTIP and the Benue State government. As we join the call for justice here at Afia TV, we're joined by Mrs. Onyinye Mamah, who is the president of Wosuwo Women Support Women for Human Empowerment and Mentorship Initiative, as she shares her views on this traumatic case, which some may just describe as raw crazy. Ambassador Mamah, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So good to have you on.
Thank you, Natalie. The pleasure is always mine. It's been a real out very sad events, both at the national level, state level, community level, and well within the family units. Right, a lot of these violent cases happen per second in the society. We don't get to hear it. You don't even know what is happening until one person takes up that strong stride to report or to speak against it or to say, I'm tired of going through what I am going through. You see, the case of Ochanya, it's one too many. A whole lot of persons have been traveling under the confine of not having justice, right? And a whole lot of persons have been shut down on their request to be heard. I don't even know exactly where to start from. I don't know whether to start from the survivors. I don't know whether to start from the perpetrators. I don't know whether to start from the society that keeps shutting people down.
So how about we start from here, Ambassador Mamah? The fact that reports suggest that the father, the uncle who raped Ochanya, is walking the streets of Benue free, and his son Victor is reportedly carrying on with his career in music all the way in Lagos. He is said to have gone into hiding as soon as Ochanya granted that interview, talking about his role in raping her. How about we start from the fact that these people were discharged and acquitted, whereas the young girl who died at 13 is lying cold, 6 feet under. How about we start from there, Ambassador Mamah? Let's start from there.
So this whole event is not just disheartening, it's also a sad tale on the face of our national justice, right? Our social justice has been rightly battered up from left, right, and center. It also paints a very dark color of our judiciary, of our ministries of justice, and even the court of absolute jurisprudence. They are supposed to thoroughly look at the events that happened that brought to this girl's death. And if this girl suffered from the point she was being abused, right down to the point where she died, even the VAP law says that with the judge's discretion, it is life imprisonment, or even some judges will just sentence the person to death. So I am not just dismayed, I am both perplexed with the fact that our judiciary has refused to take up this mantle of truth, social justice, and equity in this society. Probably some people have been tipped off, some people they have paid their way out. Can you imagine the story? They are back to the society living their normal life, and it was as if this girl never existed. And this is just one out of the many stories. One of the one that happened in Enugu, in Tinker's Corner. That man that killed the wife is now back to the society, living normally, and not even caring for the kids. So these cases, I'm just so dismayed. I'm filled with words. I don't know how to pour it one after the other. My problem is what has happened to the face of our justice. What is wrong with our judicial process in this society? We are still battling with the fact that there are no speedy trials, there are no non-partial and equal rights meted out to individuals as per the cases that come from them. Now we are faced with people who are supposed to be chilling out in the prisons of the country, working just like normal human beings in the society. And you tell me that a perpetrator will not do worse, knowing that he can pay his way out, he can pay his way off, he can soon integrate himself to the society and live just normal. That's why a whole lot of cases that come to my table every day, the same thing I hear is, he has beaten me up so recklessly and he told me I have nobody to help me. And at the end of the day, you will strive so much and you will see that truly this lady has nobody to help her.
Ambassador Onyinye Mamah,
Yeah.
this kind of case exposes a lot of secrecy, power, and all that, right? Well, regarding, you get so many of these reports all the time. Please, in this type of case right now, a judge actually acquitted these individuals, noting how dear and ill this case was. These guys are walking freely right there. Please, indulge us. In this type of case, how do we get justice for Ochanya? What are the necessary steps needs to be taken at this point in time? Because it was as if it was almost forgotten. Thank God it resurfaced, because this is meant to be a lesson. Can you indulge us?
Yes. Okay, so I mean, with the media and the voices of people like us, I think we need to trace back to the courts that presided over the trend of the judicial events.
All right, and meanwhile, as the campaign against the child sexual abuse continues to rage on across Nigeria, we're also receiving reports of the Enugu state government confirming the arrest of a man who reportedly raped his 2 daughters, 2 and 5. I mean, Oji, what in the level of child abuse is going on in Nigeria? Because I cannot understand.
What's attractive? What's attractive, when you look at a 2 or 5-year-old? I'm not even talking about maybe somebody from the outside, you as a parent, right? That man is an animal. They should ask him questions. It's not normal. That's why I see so many mad people in Nigeria just feel are just roaming the streets. For real, right? We have to be checking our mentors in this country, because I don't get the reason why your own child, rape your own child. Assuming it's coming from an outsider. Maybe let me even say it's a step. Your own blood.
I mean,
the society is crazy.
It's crazy, and you can see this animal. Yes,
It's an animal.
this animal,
An
and
animal.
I understand that the law says he's innocent until he's proven guilty. But I look at the face of that man, and I see the face of a wild animal that should be in a cage and chained to the cage in case he wants to get out of it. I mean, the mother of these girls is currently undergoing therapy as a result of the scandalous display and actions of her husband. It's really sad that we're waking up to this kind of news, but it's great that these pedophiles are being identified and captured as they should, one after the other. This conversation would continue. You can rest assured on that case. And Ambassador Mamah has been able to lend her voice on this matter, but it's not going to end here. We're surely going to continue to follow this up and ensure that we start to identify the animals among us as the weeks progress right here at Afia TV. We're going on a quick break now, and when we return, we're getting back to the political scene and finding out what's happening as the Enugu reps defect to the All Progressives Congress. Afia TV political and economic correspondent Nnamdi will join us when we return. Stay tuned.